back again. I always think I have everything laid out, and then there's always something that I'm missing. So I'm just going to take some Scotch tape here and hopefully press some of these down so that they just kind of stay in place while I'm working with it. So I'm going to take one end and then another end, just tape it to my counter here. So I'm going to start with the middle piece, which I've already kind of put out there anyway. Some of these, if they come off, just stick them right back on. I'm going to use a hot glue gun today. And if you don't like a hot glue gun, you certainly can do it with some twine. Now, normally when old-fashioned way of how they would string dried oranges is they would take, this is what's called jute twine, and you would take a big needle, a crewel needle with a big eye head on it so that you could get the jute twine through it. And you would just start stringing it very, very much like if you were doing it Christmas time on cranberries and popcorn that you want to string your line. That's what you would do with this. But I'm not going to do that today. I am going to go ahead and use my hot glue gun. While I was out and about trying to find things, because I couldn't find them in my shed because things are buried right now, I went to my local thrift store, and truly all I was looking for was pine cones. And what I could find that had any pine cones on it was this particular item right here, which would look gorgeous anywhere, as far as I could hang it down from my light out front, my porch light, to the front door, whatever. But I just want the pine cones and things that are in here. So a couple things you're going to need. You're going to need some clippers. And I just kind of like to start, and wherever it is, just go ahead and clip them off. So there's a pine cone there. And probably, yes, I might use this leaf. I don't know. But the first thing that I'm after are the pine cones. So let's just get them off of here and out of the way. Off and out of the way. This is such a simple little project, but I had a gal I was talking to the other day saying, you know, she just wanted kind of some different ideas. And I said, well, I like to go back in time of what people used to do long ago. And this is one of them that they would, they didn't have a lot of Hobby Lobbies and craft stores, Michael's and all these craft stores to buy things, that they had to use things that were, you know, already in their kitchen from nature. And so that's kind of what I'm doing today too. Only I'm adding some embellishments that they didn't have back then. They certainly didn't have all this plastic stuff like what they do now. Okay, so I'm gathering mostly just the long ones. There's a couple of fatter pine cones in here, but I'll see if I want to put those on or not. This is just kind of as you go, you're going to be adding whatever you want. It's your house, cook the way you want to. Well, it's your kitchen, cook, not only cook the way you want to, but, you know, decorate the way you want to too. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside for just a minute while I decide what next. I bought this little wreath in a thrift store. Oh my gosh, it was just so cheap. I couldn't resist getting it. It's got the velvet blue ribbon on it and a little apple embellishment here. But all I'm after on this is the eucalyptus. Now, I couldn't find the eucalyptus in the store that I was at, and I didn't want to go. It's clear across town for me to go to Hobby Lobby, and you pay a fortune for it. So this is going to work just fine for me of the natural colors of what I want. So again, I'm just going to clip this off. This one's in here with some wire. And I just want to clip off the, we'll take the apple part off because I don't need that. Set him aside. I'm just after that part right there. That's all I'm after, are these little guys. I may have to clip them off. There we go. I will save the twig wreath. I may want it for something else. I'll discard the bow. I don't need that. Okay, and then in my other bag of goodies here, I have just finding stuff in little thrift stores, really, truly. Why go buy it when you can find it? These were some brand new, extra little embellishments of some little berries. They look like little berries. And so I'm going to use them. I don't need a whole lot. It's a large window, but I'm not going to be doing the whole thing with it, so I'm not too worried about it. I have to kind of take off all of that. And because I'm putting this with my hot glue gun, it's gonna go really fast. And then I went to find my cinnamon sticks that I have. I have some small ones in a jar here. I have some I have some large ones also, but we have some small ones here that I can work with. Just depends on what I have decided. Oh yes, this was a project I started a long time ago. These were little angels. They're little boards, little boards that I started to paint. And then you glue on the back of the little angel. That's another project for another day that I didn't get to, obviously, and that's okay. Today I'm doing this one. Okay, so to begin with, of whatever little embellishments that you have. So what I normally would do is I would go ahead and leave the leaf on here that I want and this, but I would cut the stem off because, like I said, I'm going to be putting it with a hot glue gun. So I don't need all that extra on there. Just get rid of those. These are real pretty, and I like them. I really do. It's going to be another hot day today. It really is. We're supposed to have rain today, but it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. These I'm cutting, cutting that stem off, and then these are kind of on a plastic that I can pull apart and get pretty much what I want here on the different ones. If not, you just cut them off so that you have plenty to work with, which I will. I went to the grocery store last night after I got done finding what I wanted in the thrift store, this, and just to get about 3 little items. And it took me back to when COVID first happened, and they would put those arrows on the floors that you couldn't go up. You had to go a certain way up one aisle and a certain way down another. I didn't have that, but I went to the self-checkout because all of the cashier lines were really with people that had, you know, a lot of stuff in their baskets. So I thought, well, I was a checker for a lot of years. I can do this, even at my age. You know, I don't have a problem doing this. So I noticed about 5 people in the one line of self-checkout. There's 2 different areas, and in one line, there's about 5 different people. Okay, I didn't really think much about that. I saw on the second line over there it wasn't really a line, it was a lady that had a lot of stuff for self-checkout, but she was doing fine. She was just going slow at it. And I thought, well, I'll just swing over there and wait for her because it's going to take a while. She's got quite a few in there, and I'll let all these people go on the fast track. And I'll tell you what, it always cracks me up at my age to have these young 30-year-olds decide to voice their opinion. And so I wheeled my small little basket over there to the second line, and out of the mouth of this one 30-year-old woman, she says, "Miss, the line starts back here." Just like that. And I'm thinking, okay, didn't really know that. I was going to wait for the lady that had a lot on her basket. So I nicely looked at everybody else who didn't open their mouth and have a comment, just the 30-something-year-old woman. And I said, well, you know, I didn't know it started back there. I said, all right, I'll get in line. And so I did. Now, had I had my, what I call the pit bull husband, who always has to have a comment if somebody says something like that, but I didn't. You know, it was just me in the store. And I waited while 5 of them went up and did their thing. Then it was my turn, and I got up there, and the woman with all the stuff in her basket, she was still in line. She was still trying to, not in line, but up at the cashier station. She was still there trying to check out all of her stuff. And the little girl that mouthed off to me, she was at the other one, and I thought, you didn't get out of here any faster than me. You know, you're still at the check stand, you know, doing your groceries, and I'm done now. And was it really necessary to chew on me like that in front of everybody? But what got me the most as I'm wheeling out to my vehicle was that she used the word miss. Now, it's always kind of funny, especially to seniors. I am a senior citizen. A miss is a person that is a young girl, somebody under the age of 18. Now, I know these 30 and 40-year-olds have no idea about this, but if they would look it up, you know, a miss or a sir is somebody that is 18 or younger. Now, if she had called me madam instead of miss, it's madam or ma'am, because ma'am is short for madam, that would be somebody that's over 18, and it's usually a married person over the age of 18. I do think I qualify for that because I do think I'm over 18. But no, she had to call me miss. So all the way out to my car, I'm thinking, wow, this is interesting, you know, that first she has the terminology incorrect. And next is that she had to scold me in front of everybody. And I'm thinking, why do you do that? You know, was it that important that you have to holler? Well, that did remind me of when I was in Walmart when COVID first hit. And they started all that with those lines. And I know I wasn't the first one that did this because I watched people my age do it. You went from one to the other of the aisles that, you know, it takes a long time with basket to go all the way down that Walmart aisle. And just to get on the right side where the arrow's going the right way. And I went to get a box of rice. And it was clear up on the top shelf. And I had to ask somebody where it was because I couldn't find it. And so when the guy finally told me where it was, I just immediately, from the main aisle, I just immediately went down and got the rice. And that's when I got chewed out that day from some 30-some-year-old girl that says, you're going the wrong way. They just bark at you. And again, I'm sitting there thinking, what is their problem? I'm going to turn my cooler on for just a minute because it's quite warm in my kitchen. So hang on just a second.